Welcome to Dear Husband, Dear Wife with Danny and Jenny Fuentes, a podcast about dating, marriage, and sex, where we break it down, keep it real, and unashamedly go there. Our goal is to foster a space that welcomes you to have conversations with us regarding these topics. And since we believe in seeking the truth about these topics, we guarantee to keep a biblical perspective in all things related. So go ahead and grab your favorite drink and or put those earbuds because it's about to get real.
Hello, welcome back to Dear Husband, Dear Wife.
Welcome back, people.
Yeah, it's been a while, guys.
Yeah, I feel a little rusty.
Yeah, it's been a good while, actually.
Yes. We have actually some big life update.
Yeah, so the last episode, I technically don't remember when it was.
It was in May.
Okay, dang. Okay, it was in May. And
we took June, July,
and basically August
all of
off.
Summer.
Mainly because we are no longer in Santa Barbara. We are now in San Francisco.
Beautiful city of San Francisco.
The Bay Area.
I know we went from SoCal to North Cal.
Yeah. So we're in San Francisco where the weather is beautiful and it's, hot on one section of the city, and then you move 10 minutes down any direction, and all of a sudden it's cold.
What are they called again?
They call it microclimates.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah, so we were in Santa Barbara for a couple years, and we were given the opportunity to move out to San Francisco because of work. And so we're now out here. And this is our new chapter of life.
Yeah.
Marriage in San Francisco, of all places.
I know. We used to talk to each other and say to each other, if we're going to leave Santa Barbara, we're going to leave because we want to move out of state. And we want to go to a cheaper city. And we want to buy land. And that's still a dream. That is still something that we want to do. It's not something that we've neglected or anything. But obviously, the Lord had other plans, and here we are in San Francisco. For all of my LA people, we love you. We miss you guys, and, we are not too far away, but at least, we are still in the same state till now. Yeah,
we're still in California. But it's San Francisco, and it's interesting. This city has a lot of history, and luckily Jenny and I have just recently been able to find a church where there's just a lot of good people of different backgrounds, different life upbringing, and just want to have a relationship with God. And so we're thankful and we're grateful that we have found a church, but it's interesting. We're in a city where the people in the city are very proud to say that they are not followers of Christ. They really, really dislike anybody that's a Christian. So
I don't blame them.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, it's kind of our faults for being stupid and doing stupid things and ruining it for those that don't know Christ. But it's interesting, again, you have a lot of people that have their own lifestyles. And the challenge now for Jenny and I is, how do we portray the love of Christ to city that wants absolutely nothing to do with God?
Yeah, it's one of the most one of the top 10 cities considered godless city, and there's a lot of churches, but again, it's been known for its reputation of being a godless city, and we see this as our little Sodom and Gomorrah situation, and we love it. I mean, just to give you some context, we're not expecting to move to San Francisco. In fact, we wanted somewhere cheaper than Santa Barbara. We wanted something bigger and not smaller, out of state and whatnot. But the Lord had other plans, and this is a marriage and dating and sex podcast, so I might as well just talk about like, how do you make this big transition and this big decision as a married couple? And though we both had big dreams, and we still have them as big dreams, to be able to have our own property and to be able to have our own land one day, when one of us is offered an opportunity, we both have had extensive conversations of what does it look like to uproot our lives and to basically transplant to another city or to another town. And so it took a lot of conversation with Danny and I to just be able to say, okay, wow, this is an opportunity that has come up, because it first came up for me. And so, we were just like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why would the Lord send us to San Francisco out of all places? Mm-hmm. And we just kept praying, but we knew that every time that we would come to San Francisco, it always felt like home. It always, one way or another, felt like home. And we ended up praying about it, really just kind of seeking wisdom from our family. So if you remember in our last couple of episodes, we had celebrated our 10-year wedding anniversary in Maui. And, we told our family basically that we were leaving. But prior to that, we had already spoken with my brother, who we consider very wise in so many decisions making, just because of the way he's lived his life. And we spoke with, my parents, and both Danny's parents are deceased. So we spoke with my parents, and although they were really sad about us, the idea of us leaving and being further away from what we call our city home in LA, right? My parents were very supportive, and my brother, and my sister-in-law were both very proud and happy for us. And they were like, you can't pass this opportunity up. So then we left it up to God, and we're just like, okay, Lord, if this is where you want us to be, then you have to show us, you have to make this very possible for Danny too. And so we started praying. I started coming to a couple of interviews, because I had several interviews up here in the city, and doors just started opening, and got a job. And so I'm back in the classroom, and which I'm really excited. I'm a 4th grade teacher, and I know it's teaching. You're like, teachers make garbage, right? They don't make a lot of money. But y'all, this is a God thing. So trust me when I tell you, if I'm living in San Francisco, it totally had to be a miracle to be making what I'm making. But anyway, it was totally God. And so, this opportunity came up, and I took it, and we took it in faith. Danny has always been the husband that has been supportive in so many of my dreams and in so many of my aspirations. And we spoke with our therapist about this too. And she was just like, you guys, this sounds like an opportunity for you guys. You guys should do it. And lo and behold, the Lord brought us here, and we're here now. But Danny didn't have a job.
Yeah, I didn't have a job lined up. I was very nervous. I was beginning to grow concerned.
It was a risk.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, dang, San Francisco is not cheap. It's definitely much more expensive. And the last thing I wanted was for us to move, and Jenny was the only one working, and I, didn't have a job. So I just kept applying, and luckily I found a job, right before we ended up moving. I, had the interviews over Zoom, got hired, and it was just a blessing to have had the opportunity to get a job right before we moved, because I have no idea how things would have been if we moved out here and I still didn't have a job.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest questions that a lot of people ask is how do you know? How do you know when you're supposed to make a move? How do you know as a married couple you have to transplant or move your entire family? How do you know? And the reality is, a lot of the times you really don't know. You just got to take a risk, and you got to act in faith. I remember we signed our lease, and it was after we signed our lease to our apartment that God opened the doors for Danny, immediately. It was right there and then that weekend, actually. We came to look for it was our last weekend of checking out places. And as you guys know, or may not know, San Francisco is extremely expensive. It's basically equivalent to Santa Barbara's rent, a little bit more. I would say probably like 2% more, but that 2% does matter. And so for the square footage and space amount, like it was ridiculously expensive. And so we're just like, okay, we're going to do this. Like, let's see what God does. And so we signed our lease. We found our place. And in that same weekend, we were at a Starbucks and Danny found his job. Literally that week, things just rolled out. We came back and he had interviews and immediately the job was offered to him the following weekend. So, a lot of the times you may not know, but either, we believe in the Holy Spirit and like, you either get this hunch in your belly or your hunch in your heart or in your mind and you set your mind to it and things just start falling into place.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, the process of moving out here was completely brand new. But in the midst of us, getting the place that we're at, I love to share this story because the person that was showing us these places, his name is David. And awesome guy, love that guy, just, kind heart, generous person. And I remember when we got this place that we're in right now, we were hungry. Jenny and I hadn't eaten anything, and neither our new friend David. And so we all were just like, hey man, let's just go get some food. We're hungry. Let's, do like a mini celebration. And so he joined us, and, we went to go get some sushi. And this is how I knew at the same time that, we were in the right place. It was a very interesting conversation that we had. And again, for those of you who know about San Francisco, you know that the lifestyle out here is all over the place. And it's very open and again, it's a city where a lot of people want nothing to do with God. And there's a reason for that. I don't know too much about what that reason may be. But for someone that doesn't want anything to do with God, there's always a reason to why that is. But, we had sushi with our new friend. And, we were just talking about life. And we came to learn that our new friend David came from like a Christian background. Raised in the church, went to like missionary, trips and things like that. His family was Christian and everything. And obviously, David has, his own lifestyle that he lives. But he had told Jenny and I that like he was very surprised at the fact that he had met two Christian people that did not make him feel judged, and he was very surprised. Like I remember we were sitting there, eating sushi, and he had said, guys, I'm very shocked because I normally don't have, good encounters with people that come from church. I always feel judged because they know my lifestyle and, that's usually where it ends. And I just started to share about, my personal life and just telling them about the things I had been through and my flaws, and, pornography included. And I just told him, I was like, David, it's not so much the things that we do wrong. I was like, let me apologize on behalf of the Christian community because I know that we've done things that have not helped. And we've said things to only solidify what you guys feel and what you guys choose to believe. I was like, hey man, I'm as broken as everyone else. There's nothing new. There's nothing special that God hasn't seen, about me in regard to what I've done wrong. But, I just told him, I was like, dude, my job in this life I have is to just love people, to become their friends, a real friend, not just, a friend defined by this world, but a real friend, and to just live life, You know, if I fall, like, I hope that you're there to encourage me, to remind me of who I am so that I can keep walking. And if you slip, then that's my job to do the same with you. I was like, the whole point is just for me to live this life with you side by side, and we learn from each other. And it was just an awesome experience that we had literally the first day, you know, that we had met him.
Yeah, I mean, he was amazing, and like he is amazing, and we felt like God was truly just setting us up for success. By the way, Danny's going to step out because he has to like pick up a phone call really quickly. So, but anyway, it was just like one of those things where we got to see God move in a miraculous way. So, yeah, I think one of the most important things for us to know is that we are very excited to be here in San Francisco, and we really are looking forward to this new season. So it's season number 1. In September, we are going to be celebrating September 23rd. We celebrate our 1-year anniversary since we launched Dear Husband and Dear Wife, and that's exciting. And I just wanted to make sure that you guys continue to tune in. So we will be doing the next episode, and we'll give you a different update. But we are super excited to be in San Francisco. And y'all, I just got to say this. When God opens doors, you got to walk through them. You have to fully walk through them. All right, y'all. Well, have a wonderful day, and we will see you on the flip side. And thanks for tuning in. Adios. Thank you for tuning in. We really enjoyed hanging out with you. If you really enjoyed hanging out with us too, then we ask you for one simple favor. Go ahead and leave us a review and let us know how we did. We thank you so much, and we really appreciate your time. We look forward to seeing you next week. Adios.